As we prepare for the winter storm that we believe is moving in, the Texas Supreme Court has agreed to hear arguments in a major case from the deadly 2021 winter storms.
The state's highest court will decide whether more than 15,000 plaintiffs can move forward with their claims against Texas utilities. Fox 4's Amelia Jones spoke with an expert on what it all could mean. Amelia.
Heather, Steve, the lawyer I spoke to said it's significant that the Texas Supreme Court will hear this case since it hasn't gone to trial yet. The heart of the argument is about whether the state's power transmission companies like Oncor could have acted differently during Winter Storm Uri in 2021. As the possibility for a winter storm takes shape, people can't help but remember the past winter storms, specifically the February 2021 storm that caused widespread and prolonged power outages, resulting in deaths and property damage. Thousands of people filed lawsuits against the state's power transmission companies in the wake of the storm. In April, a court of appeals in Houston decided certain claims can move forward. In December, the Texas Supreme Court decided it would review the case and hold a hearing, a move that could mean the justices want to change the ruling.
Supreme Court just has a lot going on. They're not going to spend the time it takes to prepare for and have one of these hearings unless they're inclined to make some changes to what the lower court did, in this case, the 14th Court of Appeals in Houston.
Chad Ruback is an appellate lawyer in Dallas who is not involved in the case. He says the argument in this case is over whether power transmission companies like Oncor in North Texas could have acted differently 4 years ago when ERCOT told utilities to cut power to homes and businesses to lessen the strain on the state's power grid.
Maybe they should have turned the power off to different neighborhoods than the ones they chose to turn power off to. Maybe they should have turned power off for a shorter period of time or a longer period of time. Maybe they should have made sure for certain that the power was going to go back on when they intended it to go back on after these rolling blackouts. That's the base of this lawsuit.
The power transmission companies are the ones who own the wires that connect electricity across the state. Power generators, retail electricity providers, and natural gas suppliers are not involved in these lawsuits. Ruback says Oncor and other power transmission companies might argue that their hands were tied at the time.
So essentially, Oncor's position and the position of the similarly situated transmission companies is we didn't have a choice but to shed load, to use less power. We had to pick something, and any decision we made, people would have faulted. Sadly, any decision we made, it seems, would have resulted in harm.
The Supreme Court decision could have a lasting impact on Texans. Ruback says people could see an increase in electricity bills if there's a large settlement, or potential changes in the state's power transmission companies because of a lack of consequences.
This is going to be a tough decision for the Supreme Court to make. I don't remember ever seeing a case, anything like this before the Supreme Court.
The hearing is set for February 19th in Austin. The Supreme Court will not make a decision during the hearing. It will come down in a written opinion, which could take weeks or even months to issue.